Today is a very exciting day because today we are going to do a deep dive product review on the BrewZilla. Not the Generation 3 that we've been using for so many years, but the brand new version we have, the Gen 4. Yeah, we're a little late to the party here, but we finally got some new toys. So let's break it down and show you if it's worth it. Cool feature number one. Right here, we have the brand new control panel. This one sits up the top of the BrewZilla and can actually be detached and separately mounted somewhere else, should you decide to. So you don't need to do a full thought squat anymore to go and read your new temperatures as you're putting in your settings. You can do it all right here. But the other really cool side kicker with this, which I guess is feature number two, is that all of this is Bluetooth and Wi-Fi enabled. So you can actually set up all of this stuff with your phone, make new brewing profiles, have saved settings, and activate them directly from your mobile device. So it's far more versatile in the way that you can actually set up the software side of your brew days. So you could control stuff manually and just set how much power you want to the pump, how much power you want to the heating elements, what temperature you're trying to achieve. Or you could have all of your profiles pre-saved and select from your pre-saved list. So you might have stuff here for super thick stouts, for super crisp lagers, for NEPAs, for pale ales. You can have all your different profiles pre-saved on your phone and they directly sync to your BrewZilla. One tiny little con that I do have with this one, to be honest, is that I don't know if it's just my device, but the actual control panel itself is not perfectly sealed. So I have kind of just put some electrical tape there for the meantime, so that if I have splashes during a brew day, it's not gonna go through and ruin the control panel. But considering all the upgrades you get with this thing, pretty small gripe. Feature number three. Because this thing is Wi-Fi and Bluetooth enabled, it means you can connect it to other devices. KegLand does have temperature control devices and other controlling unit devices. It also has thermometers. So this here is the KegLand Bluetooth thermometer, and the really cool thing about this is that it can connect directly to your BrewZilla. So you can stick this thermometer right down into the center of the mash, and that way you can use this as the true reading instead of the thermometer at the bottom of your BrewZilla, giving you a more accurate reading of the temperature of the mash itself rather than the wort that's running right across the hot plates. So gives you a lot more accuracy, a lot more precision, and it gives you the opportunity to have more control over heating. You can set the temperature differential that you're happy to run with between the bottom of the BrewZilla and your Bluetooth thermometer so that you don't scorch your wort too quickly when you're trying to heat it up too fast. You might only want the difference to be 2 degrees, for example. Or you might be happy with the temperature to be difference of, say, 10 degrees, so it's a lot faster to heat up as you're getting your strike water ready. You got a lot of control with how you control your temperature now, and that's one of the very cool features of the new unit. Feature number four, which is the last really cool thing on the software side. Because this connects to your phone through the Rapt App, it means you can have the full history of all of your brew days stored on your mobile devices. So for example, here I've got my calibration run that I ran a couple of weeks ago, and I can open it up to see the details of those different brew days that I ran, the temperatures that I hit, the graphs over time for if there was any mistakes. Did I not hit my right temperatures? Was there too much variation? The full history of all your brew days can be stored directly on the Rapt device, and then you can link that up to your fermentation. So for things like the Rapt Pill, for example, link to a full review video up there, which is your digital hydrometer, can be linked in with the brew days all the way through fermentation, so you've got full accountability of the history of your beer making progress. It's also worth noting that we have an affiliate program with KegLand. It will cost you absolutely nothing, but if you use the link in the description down below on your next KegLand purchase, we do get a small kickback, which lets us keep making more content like this here on Wombat TV. So please be kind, use our affiliate link below. This I'm gonna call a feature 4.5 because it's kind of not a full feature, but you can fully detach the power cable. Kind of useful, makes packing things away a little bit easier if they don't actually have to stay attached to the device, where unlike the old version, that thing is connected straight in. So I don't know, it's a small thing, but I do find it kind of useful when I'm packing things up at the end of a brew day. Now let's move into the physical attributes. Kicking off with function number 5, let's talk about how this thing can fully drain out, because unlike the original BrewZilla, which is flat bottomed, the new BrewZilla has a domed bottom, so every single drop of wort actually flows out and you have zero dead space. But let's throw back to past brew day Mick to talk about this more. This is the really cool thing about the new build of the actual hardware of the BrewZilla Gen 4. This is a dished bottom, which means it can fully drain out at the end of a brew day. It makes cleaning easier, but it also means you actually capture all of your wort and it all goes into the tank. You no longer have dead space where you're actually losing out on the beer that you're producing. That's actually probably my favorite thing about this particular model. Now here's one of my favorite parts about the new generation of BrewZilla. If you lift out the grain bed right here, you can see that this grain basket is actually a lot larger. The reason that this grain basket can be larger is because the profile of the way that this design sits lower. So the actual grain basket itself sits about that far above the very bottom of the BrewZilla. Compared to the old version, you've kind of got about yay kind of space before the basket slots in, which means A, a lot less dead space, but B, you can fit way more grain into your BrewZilla on a brew day. The part 6 to all of this is the design of the actual grain basket itself, or the grain pipe, I should say, the malt pipe. Here you can see you've got all these perforations around the side of the bottom of your malt pipe, which means you get way better drainage when you're trying to sparge or lauter throughout the mash. Word of warning here from a word to the wise. Make sure that you use the halfway mark when you're lifting your grain basket out. Lift it out, lock in halfway for the first part of drainage. Don't do what I did where you lift it all the way up straight from the beginning, because you will lose wort. We're gonna cut back to past me screwing up on brew day. Oh, that is so, whoops. Okay, hang on. Hang on, don't do that.
Too low, too high.
Whoops. Feature 7, this one's a small one, but I love it. I absolutely love it because it's very useful to get an insight on how much wort is actually in your BrewZilla at any one time. If I take off the Velcro here, you'll see that we have an inbuilt sight glass. This comes standard with the new BrewZilla, and it is so useful being able to see how much wort you actually have whilst you've got the lid on, whilst you've got the grain basket on top, and you can't actually look into it directly to see it against the inbuilt laser cut engravings. You can see it right on the side of your vessel. Now, one of my other favorite parts of the new BrewZilla, feature number 7, is the pump itself, the inbuilt pump. There's 2 parts to this. The actual design of the BrewZilla itself is much smarter this go around. You can actually access underneath the bottom of the BrewZilla completely. Let me take this off for you and I'll show you what I mean. Right at the bottom of the BrewZilla, you can get inside there. So if you need to make modifications, if you need to make corrections, if there's something that's failed and you want to get in there and tweak it, you can absolutely do so. Whereas with the old BrewZilla, that thing is bolted shut. You don't get the same kind of access. Yeah, you can open things up and you can get to it, but this one is designed so that if you want to swap out the pump or if you want to make any mods, you have the freedom to do so. Which links us into the inbuilt pump that comes as standard. The original Gen 3.1 comes with a 6-watt pump. The new BrewZilla Gen 4.1 comes with a 25-watt pump, which is a massive difference in terms of the actual flow rates that you can achieve and getting the wort out of here through your cooler of system of choice and then out into your fermenter. Huge difference there, which makes brew day a whole lot easier. Surface area of the heating elements. This is feature number 8. The surface area spread of the new BrewZilla's elements is a little wider, a little more distributed, which more than anything just helps to prevent scorching. To be honest, I actually never had a single scorch on my old BrewZilla anyway, but it's nice to know that you've got a little bit more wiggle room for mistakes in the event of having a stuck sparge. Smally but a goodie there. Feature number 9, and this one's not necessarily a better way of doing things, it's just a different way of doing things. Down there on the old BrewZilla, you've got all the power control switches. They're all manual. You literally flick on and off how much power you want to supply to the heating elements. Over here, it's all fully digital now. You can literally choose on the device as you do a brew day, either by automation or by manually selecting how much power you want to supply right through the controller. So it's not like it's significantly better, but I guess it is a cleaner way of doing things. And what it does do is mitigate the chances of short-circuiting your equipment as it starts to get a bit older and these seals start to break a bit, which is the reason why I bought this brand new BrewZilla, because I short-circuited the bejesus out of my old BabyZilla and it died. So rip. But from the ashes rises the phoenix, and now we got the brand new guy to kick us off on our next adventure. Tell you what, reviewing these systems, it's thirsty work. So I'm now enjoying the Vienna lager. This here is actually a true, authentic 19th century style Vienna lager. We went way back, did a bunch of homework to make sure we made this as historically accurate as possible, brewed on modern equipment. But if you want to check out this brew day, there's a link right up there. I promise this is a double decoction beauty. Definitely go check it out. My genuine thoughts here, is this thing worth it? Absolutely hell yeah. It's hands down a better system than the old version. Yes, it takes a little bit of adjusting for the new software, and yes, it takes some adjusting to do things like controlling power through here or through your phone versus with the manual switches down there. But those small adjustments are so worth it when the fruits of your labor are a more efficient system, a better sparging system, a more powerful system, a more versatile system, and most importantly, a system that has zero dead space, which means every single drop of wort that you brew turns into delicious beer. So I absolutely highly recommend cracking onto this system here if you're thinking about making a move to a BrewZilla setup. Again, affiliate link down below. I'm gonna hammer that home because all of those affiliate link bucks help us keep making more videos. But now I need to say a huge thank you to our Patreons. Our Patreons are the dudes that day in and day out help us out with advice, thoughts, general banter around beer banter and bloody good times, and they are the guys that are suggesting what videos we should be doing next. So if you want to have a say in what content we bring here to Wombat TV, do go and check it out. But anyway guys, cheers, happy brewing, and we'll catch you next time.